Hello. Hi. So, I'm currently working on this post about happiness and contentment. And I wanted it to be the very next thing that I posted, but I did post like another behind the scenes thing. And then I also posted, which it's supposed to be behind the scenes, which is only supposed to be for the top tier, but I just wanted to like give a little glimpse of what I'm going to be doing. So, it was a post about happiness and contentment, and I posted a poem right before this, and I'm going to be consistent. I'm not trying to be consistent. I'm going to be consistent with my posting. At least once a week is what I'm aiming for, but obviously I'm doing a lot more than that because I guess it's really unrelated to anything else. But I feel like when you have certain goals and you have certain things you want to achieve, it's necessary to give yourself some slack because sometimes you don't meet those expectations, and in my opinion it's necessary to understand that it's not always possible to meet your expectations, so you have to go with the flow. Sometimes you go over the bar, sometimes you don't even reach it at all. Okay, so currently I'm paragraph 3. I've already written everything, but I'm going back and editing. Another aspect of being happy and content in yourself is being able to live in the moment, to go back to the no chasing rule. If you're constantly running after something that you haven't obtained yet, on some level this means that this feeling is also running away from you. It's possible you could eventually catch up to it, but there's only so much fun in a cat and mouse game. Now this is subjective though. I'm gonna write that. This is subjective, however, but I personally don't find much fun in having to acknowledge or in having to but I personally don't find much fun in never truly obtaining a desire or feeling. I might change that last line. I think for some of us it's pretty common knowledge that we choose to be happy. Obviously, there are moments where it's extremely difficult to be happy, but ultimately you need to be able to cultivate that in any moment. Okay, so I'm actually gonna move this because this actually goes really well with the previous. Remember in school when they would make you like determine what aspects of the essay like went where? Like this is where that comes in handy. Because now, the way it is now, like the previous paragraph before this line is, there's power in taking the bad moments, and being able to laugh within them. I'm gonna actually add a thing right here to add gravitas. One thing I learned, pro tip, is that when communicating, when talking, it is necessary to there's also an art to it. Like you just have to flow with it and whatnot. But there is an art to communicating, and one of the aspects that you can take note of is repeating things, but not being so redundant. So this is something I've been conscious of, like when making my videos. Repeating things, but with a different tone, with a different verbiage. So now this says there is power in taking the bad moments and being able to laugh with them, to be able to not take things so seriously and to roll with the punches. It's not always easy, and I have my moments where I reject every aspect of this. Okay, and then that's the previous paragraph, and then now we're in what I just copied and pasted. I think for some of us, it's pretty common knowledge that we choose to be happy. Obviously, there are moments where it's extremely difficult to be happy, but ultimately, you need to be able to cultivate that in any moment. It's essentially a superpower to be able to laugh in a situation that causes distress. This might be a little bit redundant. You need to be able to find contentment in any moment. I might just delete that whole thing altogether. Or or maybe not even just delete it, but like copy and paste, and I'm gonna actually add that to the Foolish Divinity. I'm making a brand. I am rebranding Afro Queer Eyes, and technically it's being rebranded into Foolish Divinity, but at the same time it's not the same thing. Like, it is, it's the same business, it's the same format, I guess, you know, but with a lot of tweaks. But it is ultimately not the same thing. Okay. And what I have so far, one of the documents that I have, just to share, is base information, Foolish Divinity base information. And it's essentially like what I plan to use for my, like, ideas for my bio, like for different platforms, what I need to focus on specifically, and like what kind of posts I can create to reach those things, like engagements and tips and, you know, clients or whatever. And then to like, because I want to have a consistent flow of content, I have messages and reminders, and these are both for myself, but also things to post. Bittersweet endings are often necessary to create beautiful new beginnings. Sometimes the best thing to do Sometimes the best thing to do is to ask for what you need, and then trust that your actions will lead you toward receiving it. And I'm probably going to go back and add to these because I don't want these to be super short. One page that I really admire is the Oracle Reads You. And I love whoever that person behind the page is. They seem really awesome, and I would love to like pick their brain on an intimate level one day. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for with this. Like, I felt like as though I couldn't really do that with the name that I had already made for myself, Afro Queer Eyes. So I was like, let me just start all over, and we're gonna just completely just, those walls come tumbling down. I already made a post saying that I was going to rebrand. I said soon. My version of soon is not always, it's not consistent, and it's also not, doesn't make much sense. Because for some people, soon is like 2 days, a day, a couple hours. But for me, it's when I feel ready. In this moment, I guess. I've been making more of a conscious effort to take moments of stillness, of peace, of gratitude, where I like, no matter where I'm at. And I try to do this like, originally I was trying to do this like every hour, but you know, time flies sometimes. So like, I just try to do it whenever I'm like conscious of this thing that I want to do, and I'll just take a moment. I don't always close my eyes, but I'll just be like thinking the thoughts that I want, you know, like I'm creating generational wealth. I am at peace with my actions. I am kind. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. Just taking the moment to affirm myself, and then also to like, you know, just rewire my brain. And this has been something I've been doing for a while, but like more recently I've been more conscious with it, because now I'm working again. And oh my gosh, I have moments. I was talking about dissociating. I know this is off track. I was talking about dissociating with I don't know what to call him, a lover. I don't want to like, Mordecai. He probably won't be watching this, but Mordecai, I was talking with him about he's also a producer, and we make music together, but I was talking with him about dissociating, because a lot of trans people, he's trans, a lot of trans people go through that. A lot of LGBT people go through moments where they don't really feel aligned with their body, and I was never diagnosed, and apparently he was never diagnosed, but I have moments like that. And now that I'm working, I have a lot more moments like that, where I'll just be in the middle of a transaction and I'll just be like I'm still here, but I'm also like in another dimension almost, and I'm just like, okay. You know, like it's just like, it's almost difficult to explain, like, because I feel like it's different for every person, so me explaining my experience will probably not resonate with somebody else who experiences it. Like, I think one of the best ways to explain it is that like my mind does not feel aligned with my body, and it's kind of difficult to focus 100%. Like, I'm still there. I can still, like, physically move my body and do things, thankfully. But, like, it all also happens when I'm drinking caffeine a lot. I have been drinking caffeine a lot, and I feel like that's something to know. It might be the caffeine mostly. I know I probably shouldn't be having caffeine, but when I have a lot of caffeine, I have these moments too. And I'll just be like going throughout my day, and suddenly I'm just like, it's not like autopilot. He described it as autopilot, but like for me, it's just like, because I'm still very conscious of what I'm doing, but it just like taking a seat, taking a step back, you know? Anyways, back to this. Happiness is not for people afraid to experience a full range of emotions. And as a Virgo moon, it can definitely be annoying to go through those low moments, but they're there for a reason, and they can be very helpful in achieving more positive emotions. I believe wholeheartedly that if you pretend like the negative emotions aren't there, then it won't allow you to truly get to a space of contentment, because they're still there. Just because you ignore them doesn't mean they go away. And a lot of people, I feel, do this. They'll be feeling really stressed, they'll be feeling really this or that, and they'll feel it in the back of their mind, they'll feel it in the back of their heart, and they won't talk about it because they feel like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to, like, you know, make anyone else uncomfortable. But sometimes you have to express, even if it's just to yourself, but sometimes you do just have to acknowledge within yourself that, like, yeah, I'm not okay. I'm not doing well right now. And also acknowledge that things will get better. Things can get better if you work towards it. But, like, you kind of have to acknowledge. But a lot of people don't like doing this. Because that whole fake it till you make it. There's a part where I wrote about that. You already passed. I didn't read that, but that was the second paragraph. There is truth in fake it until you make it, but only to an extent, because there is power in working with what you have and moving forward from there. There is power in taking the bad moments and being able to laugh within them, to be able to not take things so seriously and to roll with the punches. It's not always easy, and I have my own moments where I reject every aspect of this. Oh, also, I have a lot of things that I want to write currently. Like, this is just one thing. I'm gonna highlight this so I know to go back to this part. There is also a thing, there's a contest. I've been on vocal.media, and they have challenges. I've been submitting projects, and I guess I could make another one of those, because I am very passionate. But there's a doomsday diary. Oh wait, is this supposed to be I might write two versions of this, like I did with the other one, just to up my chances. But essentially the task is to write a short piece of dystopian fiction involving a heart-shaped locket. And where was I going with this? I don't know where I was going with this. So far, I've made $5.21, and five of those dollars, or the $5 was from the fact that I created a certain amount of stories, which is awesome. I was hoping that they would continue doing that. Maybe they do, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 stories out. And do I have any? I don't think I have any drafts. I've been working on just creating them in my like a separate document. I'm really excited. Really excited for the future, what the future holds. But also, I'm very thankful for where I'm at now. Oh, I'm getting distracted. I'm about to watch a video.
And it literally was a left turn, and it was some guiding force. I really think about it now. I wouldn't do that today. I wouldn't get up and move my life. And I didn't know anybody. I had no money, no car, no. I knew nothing about an industry I wanted to be a part of. And I felt supported.
This is Eva Longoria.
Some sort of energy and presence, and I just thought, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to
Trust in a higher power.
Felt completely.
I want to say a couple years ago, this would have been insane to me. The fact that I'm like, I have the mindset that I do now, because a couple years ago, I was an atheist. Like, I was true atheist, a true anti-theist. And like, one or more of my YouTube channels consist of a lot of atheist content creators. And I still hold some of the ideas. Like, I think it has definitely helped me progress. Like, some of the logic, you know, like, why would a loving God do X, Y, and Z if they were really loving? You know, why would they show conditional love? You know, when it says that their love is supposed to be unconditional, and unconditional means that no matter what, you are shown grace. And the concept of hell is not grace, no matter how you spin it. Like, you created me, allegedly, and my actions, even though you created me in your image, allegedly, my actions are allowed to get me to a place where I'm eternally tormented. I think it would be more acceptable if hell was like, you know, a couple years, like maybe even 1,000 years or something, but to be like until, not, there's no until, because it's literally just forever. Like, it's insane to me. I personally believe at this place in my life that hell is a place that you put yourself in. It is a place on earth. It's a place after you die, and it's a state of mind. Like, if you believe that you deserve to be in hell when you die, you will go to a place that is your version of hell. And obviously, I don't know that for sure because I haven't died in this flesh, but I'm very confident in that because it's hell here, you know? Like, you can put yourself in hell on earth. Like, just your mindset. There are people. I was at work yesterday, and this dude came in, and he was putting 50 cents for gas towards his car. And he was like apparently living in his car. And the person I was working with, bless her heart, she gave him $10. She gave him $5 for his car and then the rest for him. And if I had the money, I would do something like that. But I don't currently at this current moment in time. But she did that, and he was so excited. Like, I was so happy for him. But then, like, I learned more about her that day. Well, yeah, this was yesterday. I learned more about her and how she's living in a hotel, paying $1,500 a month. Thankfully, she has like a situation with her like baby father, who, what did I say like that? With her baby's dad, where like there's consistent money. Like, she doesn't have to worry about money. She only works at that 7-Eleven for like 2 days out of the week. Oh, well, she's about to get more hours, but she only works there because, you know, it, you know, like a thing to do. She said that she used to be working there. She used to work there for free. She used to just help out. And then they insisted that they pay her. So here we are. But we're both about to be getting more hours. She's about to be working more. I'm about to be working more. Oh, I guess I could have gotten her phone number. I didn't get her phone number. Ugh. Anyway, bless her soul. But she's a very loud person. She's very chaotic. And I try to stay away from energy like that. You know, like people who gossip and whatnot. Like, it's no judgment, because I understand that to them it feels natural, it feels good, but it's not something I can align with. Like, people who talk down on others, people who, even if you're not talking down on others, why are you not talking about yourself? You know, like, it's easy to point fingers and be like, you know, they did this. This is a side note. This isn't specifically about her, but to be able to be like, oh well, you know, they're so ratchet. They do this and that, and like they're so just, and but not be able to reflect and be like, okay, well, here's what I do wrong, and here's what I'm working on. Like, a lot of people aren't capable of that. And it's really sad because you need to be able to do that to improve. You can't look at other people and, you know, complain about the way other people live and not look at yourself, because you're just going to be in the same place that you are. But I digress. She's a wonderful, beautiful soul who just has a little bit of chaos in her heart. And it really does like pain me to know that we live in a world where people could literally be living in their car with 50 cents to their name, and another person that they interact with would not even know, would not even care to think twice about the way that they're interacting with them. And when I say that, a lot of times, and myself included, we get into interactions, into social situations where we treat people less than we probably should. And without knowing their own circumstances, we treat them at face value. And it's really just like, and I, once again, I myself included, I probably gave people some nasty looks accidentally because I naturally just have, I make faces and I don't mean it, but like with any intention, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes I just make faces and like, I don't know how I look actually. I haven't like practiced my staying faces, but like sometimes my face just tells it all. And I'm sure I've made faces towards people who are going through a really rough time. And now that I'm thinking about it, like I'm sorry to myself. I'm sorry to those people, but I do forgive myself because I know that like, I'm better than I was before. But yeah, people be going through it and you would never know. And this is what I like whenever I see people, like I try not to like I'm naturally a very gentle person, a very kind person, but I like one thing that really grinds my gears is like isolation, like seeing people not fit in. And that's kind of where I'm at in life. But like, you know, like when you see a big group of people and you see that one person, that those couple people who don't really enjoy being there, but they're there for the sake of fitting in, but they don't fit in, so it's like uncomfortable. Like that's what I mean. Like, and I don't always have the guts, I will admit it, to like step outside of myself to help them, but that is something that really grinds my gears. Like people feeling unwanted, unappreciated, and mostly, yeah, it's selfish because I've been there, so I understand. It's like an empathy thing, but like at the same time, just generally, like why I don't understand how people could ever want another person to feel uncomfortable. And you could argue that maybe you don't care enough if you don't do something about it, but also it is a comfort thing. It's about like, you know, it is a lot of energy for certain people to like come up to somebody that they don't know and talk to them, start a conversation, make them feel better. And sometimes I can be like, you know, kiki, but also developing myself. I know that I don't match up with everybody, and that's okay. Not everyone is going to like me, and that's okay. But where was I going with this? This has been 22 minutes and 44 seconds, and I feel like I've gone off course completely. Eva Longoria, is she a model? I'm pretty sure she's like an actor model. I haven't eaten today. It's currently, if it's not 9 o'clock, it's almost 9 o'clock. I haven't eaten. All I've had to drink was some prune juice because I do be getting a little backed up. But I can only imagine the type of pill it took for Beyonce to come to terms with the fact that everyone is not going to like her. Because she's been in the entertainment industry for like literally all her life, like since she was a child, essentially. So I feel like at some point she did have to come to terms with like the fact that, I hope she has come to terms with the fact that not everyone's gonna like her, because not everyone likes her. There are people who adamantly are against her and everything that she does. And side note, everything is a side note with this video. This is completely unrelated to anything. But I feel like it's really telling what kind of character somebody has by the type of people that they dislike. And when I say that, like, I had this, there was this person I knew, I'm not gonna go, they were a family member, and they adamantly, they used to love her. They used to love Ariana Grande. That was something that we had a mutual interest on. But then when we rekindled and we met back up, she despised her. She told me how she despised Ariana Grande. But at the same time, she looked up to the Kardashians. Not saying necessarily that the Kardashians are terrible people, but they do have a lot of things to hate on, you know? So I'm like, what? Because the Ariana Grande I know, at least, is a very kind person. Like, she uses her voice for good. She talks about things that she's passionate about, that she cares about. she, and I'm sure the Kardashians do too. Like one of them was like the thing that I just showed you. She's on one of those clips, and she talks about like the power of kindness. I think it was. I don't keep up with them. I've literally never watched an episode of Keeping Up with Her. I've just seen those from the memes. Well, I want to say Jennifer. Who the fuck is Jennifer? There's Kim, there's Kylie, there's Chloe. Chloe? It might have been Chloe or the other one. I don't know. But yeah. Like the Ariana Grande I know is like a very kind soul. Like she, even if it's just a persona, it's literally like one of the kindest individuals. Like if I met a person like that in real life, like, you know, I would like them. But also at the same time, I do have a thing where I don't like bubbly people. Like, not that I don't like them, but like they kind of trigger me. And I'm self-aware enough to know that, you know, like if I meet somebody who's like super pumped up and bubbly, then I'm like, could you tone it down a little bit? I don't tell them that, but I'm like, I feel like I give off the energy of just like, okay, good for you. I'm glad that you're happy, but please stop talking. Please stop yelling. Like, okay. Like, I knew this one girl in high school who was like that. She was super bubbly, super friendly, super just, you know. But, you know, actually, I think there might be a reason by that, about like a psychological reason. I think it, like a psychological, spiritual reason, like, you know, because there's a shadow aspect of everyone. Everyone has darker parts of themselves, like parts that they probably don't want to admit. And I feel like super bubbly people are the type of people who actively push that down, so much so that they don't even realize it within themselves. And there's probably so much baggage that they hold that they don't even know. But all you see is the bubbliness. All you see is the hi, hi. And then so like when they get to that place, when they like get to that darker place, it's, I don't know. There needs to be balance, in my opinion, you know? You can't really know happiness without knowing sadness. You can't really know anger without knowing, what is the opposite of anger? Contentment, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to post this. I might post this. This is me working, getting so distracted. But I say distracted, but like I am still, like I hold myself, I'm really hard on myself with this, but like I am constantly doing something. I'm constantly soaking up information, trying to better myself and all that good stuff. But I don't know, I always feel like as if I'm not creating something, if I'm not making something, then partially it's not. Oh my gosh, I mentioned Mordecai earlier. We got into this, it wasn't an argument, but we got into this thing where we were talking about how rest is or isn't productive. And his stance is that rest is not productive. And I'm like, yeah, it is productive, because if you don't rest, you get to a place where you can't even produce. And so like you need to be able to rest so that you can be creative, so that you can be productive. And so rest is productive. But he was like, no, because you're not actively creating anything. You're not producing anything. And I guess by the definition, yeah, he's correct. But like, if you were to go like 7 days without sleep, your brain would literally not be able to, like, you could probably create stuff, but you would be in a weird state where you could not effectively produce stuff. You would not have the clarity. You would not have the wherewithal to create something, you know? So like, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of things to say. I'm gonna just stop recording here. I want to say thank you. I doubt anybody will be watching this currently, but if you're watching this and you're paying me the amount of money that you're paying me, I want to say thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, it means a lot. If you watch to the end, also thank you, because like, wow, just listening to me ramble, I guess, is entertaining. But thank you. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day. I hope that you have, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a nice existence. And thank you.